This little SSD has the ability to run in either 9 watts or 11 watts. So how do you turn it up to 11 watts? Well, let's find out. So first things first, we need to find out the SSD model name. So here we see that it ends with CLAR200. So now I'm going to the directory where I have untarred the device manager to. And I'm running the device manager with the scan flag. And I am grepping the last part of the model number. And I'm also looking for the line before the model name, which is the alias. And the alias is what we're going to be using for the rest of the commands. So with get state, we can check the current state of the drive. And here we see that the power consumption is set to 9, which means 9 watts. And obviously we want that to be 11. How do we know that it's even possible to have 11? Well, let's go to the manage power command and use the list flag. And here we see that it is true for 9 and it is false for 11. We also see that the ID for 9 is 1 and the ID for 11 is 2. That means we use a different flag, the change flag, and we're changing the state to 2. So what happens then? Well, you see now that the ID 2 is set to true and ID 1 is set to false. And when we run get state again, we see that the power consumption is in fact 11 watts. So that's all fine and dandy, but how do you get the actual program? Well, I'm glad that you asked. See, you have to ask Western Digital's customer service for it. And let me show you how I got in touch with them. So first things first, it's a pain finding this number, but just go to the support page and just click on any kind of SSD that they have, and eventually you're gonna see a number, actually 2 numbers. So I called the toll-free number. So I just sat there and waited, and after a while someone finally answered, and I spoke to them for a while. They took my email address and they created an account for me and escalated it, and then it took about a week for me to get the actual software. And as you can see, they gave me both the Linux version and the Windows version. So one thing to consider is if you run this command, it won't last through a reboot, which means you have to do it every single time that you boot the computer if you in fact want to run it at 11. So how much of an improvement is this going to be? Well, I don't know. That's why I'm running the tests. Duh. Anyway, until then, bye.